Hello students, I hope you are well. Today's lesson for my GCSE Year 9 group is motivation. As always, if you want to access the lower grades that's written in red, you just have to tell me what. Basically describe and explain. Give me the facts, give me the definitions. If you want to access the middle grade that's written in blue, you have to apply to sport and be analytical. You have to tell me not just what, but you need to tell me how. And if you want to access the higher grades, they're written in green. You have to critically evaluate. You have to give me the strengths and weaknesses. You have to tell me why. Okay, motivation. It's quite a quick lesson today. Motivation, there are two different types of motivation. Intrinsic motivation, you want to do it for yourself, for the love of the game. And extrinsic motivation, you want to do it for some outside tangible reward, whether that's money, etc. So motivation, first of all, what is a definition of motivation that you need to use in your exam? Well, it's quite a simple one. Motivation is a general drive to achieve or succeed. A general drive to achieve motivation. The two types of motivation: intrinsic, you do it for yourself. You do it for the love of the game. You do it because you have an inner drive to succeed. You do it because it gives you a sense of pride, personal pride. It gives you a feeling of accomplishment. It might be that you do it because you just simply love the game. You have a joy of the game. Okay, so that's intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, you're driven by an outside or external influence. That external influence might be simply your coach driving you forward. He wants it for you. It might be that you're motivated to succeed because you're after a new contract, a monetary reward. You might be extrinsically motivated by the thought of winning the trophy, winning the league. And all the adulation, the external adulation that comes along with that, newspaper headlines about you, or it might just be praise from coach or praise from your teammates. That's intrinsic motivation. Which one is generally the greater motivating force, intrinsic or extrinsic? It's a popular exam question. Well, intrinsic motivation is generally a greater motivator. If you don't want it for yourself, then it doesn't matter that someone else is pushing you. You're never going to assume ownership of something, then you're not going to be truly motivated. All right. As I've just alluded to, intrinsic motivation is generally a greater driving force than extrinsic motivation. You've got to want it for yourself. You have to assume ownership. It's a popular extended question at GCSE. It will help you to access those higher grades. An intrinsically motivated athlete, this is important, an intrinsically motivated athlete, someone who wants it for themselves, someone who assumes ownership, is more likely to put in the effort when it comes to training to achieve those goals. Training hurts at that top end. To make those marginal gains, you have to push yourself beyond that pain barrier. If you're not intrinsically motivated, when it hurts, you'll quit. So if you have ownership, if you're prepared to own it, if you're prepared to push yourself through those barriers because you want it for yourself so desperately, then you're going to adhere to your training program. That principle of adherence is crucial. Beautiful. If you set yourself smart targets in your training program, then it's more likely to be motivational. So remember, smart targets. Targets must be specific to you and the sport you play. S. M. Your targets must be measurable. Give yourself some tangible measurement. So, for example, you want to improve your 400 meter time by 0.2 seconds in 6 weeks. So that would take care of the T on a SMART target as well, the time phase. 6 weeks, it might be 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, it might be a target over a year. Your SMART target must be A, agreed with your coach, write it down, agree it, make it realistic, which is the R. You don't want to make it unrealistic because you'll never achieve it, which will end up becoming demotivational. It's got to be hard, it's got to be challenging, but it has to be realistic. So SMART targets are really motivational, and your exam questions will normally link motivation with target setting, and then you talk about those SMART targets which help that motivation. Motivation is just being motivated is just one personal characteristic of a top class performer, an elite athlete. I've listed some other ones for you there. As well as motivation, elite performers are normally determined, committed, tough-minded, self-confident but not overconfident, skilled, obviously, high pain tolerance. You have to push yourself beyond that pain barrier to make those small margin gains, and you have to have some form of physical prowess if you are an elite performer. So motivation is just part of those characteristics. Alright, my GCSE class, please copy this into your blue books, add it to your photo library on your mobile phones from Show My Homework. Test yourself, get your parents to test you. Thank you. What I'd like you to do also, my GCSE group, is to just go over the videos that are on YouTube. There's loads on there now. Keep refreshing your mind. It's not good enough just to do motivation once. You have to do it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and then it will stick in your long-term memory. Alright, thank you very much.